Generous applause from 1,500 people packed into the Dewsbury Sports Centre, and the object of their attention, and indeed I suspect a fair amount of affection, is the man just divesting himself of his white robe, and that's Herol Graham, the senior professional by a long way in Britain at the moment, 31 next September. And can the topsy-turvy career of one of the most enigmatic boxers that Britain has produced in the last couple of decades take a very positive upturn? Herol Graham must win this contest tonight, and he must win it in considerable style if he is to be in with any sort of a chance of another crack at a world title. In the not-too-distant future, two other Britons, Mike Watson and Nigel Benn, will go for different versions of the world middleweight title. And Herol Graham has really got to come through against Ismael Negron from East Orange in New Jersey in the United States of America, the 23-year-old visitor, if he is going to get another crack at a world title. So Graham really has it all to do tonight.
Gentlemen, please. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the main event on this evening's programme. National Promotions present an international middleweight contest of 10 3-minute rounds. Introducing in this corner, ladies and gentlemen, from the United States, Ismael Negron. And from Sheffield, ladies and gentlemen, the middleweight champion of Great Britain, Herol Bomber Graham. At the weigh-in today, Negron scaled 11 stones 6 pounds, Graham 11 stones 5 pounds. The referee for this contest, Mr. Brian Hogg, timekeeper, Mr. Terry Parnham, and the steward in charge, Mr. Alan Simpson.
Seconds out, round one.
The 30-year-old British champion, Herol Graham, cuts a very imposing figure, and already into that familiar arms held low stance of his, the stance that's taken him through 42 successful contests in a 44 contest professional career, which stretched back to the year of 1978. But Graham knows that time is not on his side. That's an interesting opening tactic from him, really throwing his opponent right round, wrestling style. Referee Brian Hogg looks on, says nothing. Good right hand from Graham to the head of Ismael Negron. This is his 22nd professional contest. And Graham really starting off with a fair amount of aggression, and he's got to do just that. He can't afford to take his time and try to dance and keep his hands down the way he did against Mike McCallum, a man who inflicted only the second defeat of Graham's professional career. The other to Sumbu Kalambe, who beat him a couple of years ago for the European title, which Graham held at the time. That very much an upset. Graham, by his own admission, did not fight a terribly good contest against McCallum in terms of his tactics. And with a very small ring here tonight at Dewsbury, it's only 16 feet by 16 feet. Normal championship rings are 20 by 20, so there's about 35 or 36% less canvas than Graham would normally be used to. The only honour that hasn't eluded Herol Graham in his professional career is the most important one of all, a world title. He's held British and European and Commonwealth titles. Reigning British champion. Good left by Graham. Negron about a couple of inches shorter, but interestingly a pound heavier at the weigh-in. Good right by Graham, but he was moving backward. Negron trying to make sure he's keeping inside the longer reach of the British champion. Watch the head. Graham vastly experienced. But somewhere at the back of his mind there must be gnawing away a little worm of doubt as to his future. There's the old familiar hands down Herol Graham.
Right.
So a typical Herol Graham start. All his little quirks and idiosyncrasies coming out in that opening 3 minutes. 44 professional contests. He's won 42 of them, lost just 2. Turned professional at 19. And since November of 1978, when he had a points win in 6 rounds against Vivian Waite in his hometown of Sheffield, he really has had a splendid career as a professional. Ismael Negron, 21 professional contests. He's won 12, he's lost 8, and 1 no contest. That was against a gentleman called Stacey McSwain, who lost a long time ago to Britain's Errol Christie.
Second out, round 2.
Second round of this middleweight contest, scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds. Herol Graham, the man who's been involved in no fewer than 12 title fights in his career, for at British, at European, at Commonwealth, and at world level. Graham following through with the shoulder, having missed with the left. Body shot by Graham. Looks so much more powerful, despite being a pound lighter than his opponent. And Graham is ever looking to be in superb physical condition. Graham's great strength down the years has been his speed of movement. And he moved right into a right hand, and that's a little bit of bravado from Graham, because that caught him somewhere around the left ear, and it did hurt him. So Negron, obviously not to be trifled with. Branhog did say break there, but Graham didn't move back. Good left by Graham. That was a better left, and Negron hurt for the first time. But the man from New Jersey moving well from the waist and keeping out of trouble. Half a minute to go in the second. Negron having to cover up. Graham perhaps letting him off the hook. A good right by Graham as the second round comes to an end. And nice little flurry off the ropes by Herol Graham. Ismael Negron, the 23-year-old, had a year out of boxing at a contest in December of 1987. He lost to Steve Little in points in Atlantic City, and then didn't box again until the middle of 1989. Towards the end of the round, in a neutral corner, came under a little bit of pressure from the reigning British champion. Graham getting right through with that rapier-like left hand.
Seconds out, Round 3.
Herol Graham's last contest was in November when he defended his British title successfully against former amateur star Rod Douglas, who, unfortunately for Douglas, had to undergo brain surgery. But I think everybody is quite delighted that Rod Douglas is fit and well and has turned his not inconsiderable talent to doing some commentary. So Herol Graham was very relieved about that. But his mind on other things, notably a victory here tonight and the possibility of, who knows, another crack at a world title. Negron shakes his head in frustration. Graham finding him easy to hit. The American covering. The people feel that perhaps Herol Graham is not much of a puncher, but 24 of his 42 victories have occurred inside the distance, and that's not a bad percentage. This is round 3. That's Graham's own corner. And Ismael Negron on the ropes. Down he goes. Well, there didn't seem to be a lot behind that. And I don't think Negron is going to get up.
7.
Ryan Hogg right beside the timekeeper.
9. 10.
And he's gone. Well, he gets up, and Herol Graham shows no sign of emotion whatsoever, not even a grin on his familiar features. Neither is a little hint of a grin. Brendan Ingle in there, right beside his protege, the man with whom he stuck just about through thick and thin for the last dozen years. And Herol Graham, with not even a minute and a half of the third round gone, has got the victory that he needed, and perhaps another step on the road toward another crack at a world title.
Now, gentlemen, please, after 1 minute, 37 seconds of round 3, ladies and gentlemen, the winner on a count-out, Herol Bomber Graham.
Well, Graham allows himself the luxury of a little smile, a job well done, and a rueful grin. But he did what he really had to do in terms of advancing his career. And it came after about a minute and a half. Well, it might just have been that very, very hard-looking left to the middle, and indeed it was. Oh, Negron really doubled up from that. Yeah, there's a happy man, and there's the characteristic grin. So yet another win for Herol Graham, and who knows where that victory may take him to. Herol, well done. The finish, and just about, as far as you were concerned, the right number of rounds that you really needed.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't fought since last October, or was it December, and I needed another warm-up fight just to keep me in the picture as well. And that was a good fight. It was awkward at the beginning, but I suddenly wore him down and got the grasp of him, because he couldn't get the grasp of me.
It's not too often we see you stop people with a body punch like that. Tell me exactly what happened.
Well, I don't really know. I heard Brendan and Brian down at the ringside shouting, switch to the body, switch to the head. Hitting the left hand to the body and hooked into a right hand over the head, and he suddenly went down with the two combinations. And that was it, really. I mean, we've been practicing on Johnny Nelson and the rest of the guys in the gym with Fidel and Graham, so it came a treat for me. It came okay.
Well, the big question, obviously, is what's next. I know you've been in communication with your manager, Barney Eastwood, who's in hospital in Belfast. So what's the state of play between the two of you?
Well, he's rung me up a couple of times now, and the state of play at the moment is that we are talking, we're on speaking to him, and the fact is that he's trying to get this World Championship shot for me, which I want. So on that, at least, we say we are talking and getting to grasps on that.
Herol Graham.